After a 4.5-hour flight, it was quite a contrast coming from the green grass of home to this arid landscape. I stayed at the apartment complex Colin del Sol in Puerto del Carmen. No, it doesn't have anything to do with my name. It actually translates to Hill of the Sun. I booked the flights and the apartment only a few days in advance. The apartment was very comfortable and the grounds it was set in were very well kept. And there was nothing better than enjoying a nice cool beer at the poolside after a long flight. After a bit of a respite, it was time to start exploring. It was only a few minutes walk to most of the main attractions, and I loved to walk for miles, just getting to know the area and finding all the little shortcuts. There's plenty of beaches within the vicinity, great for snorkeling and for the more adventurous, diving. Puerto del Carmen was originally a fishing village. It is now the liveliest resort in Lanzarote. After a couple of days chilling and walking and chilling, time to venture out and explore this amazing island. I thought I'd try out the local bus service. Seems to be quite reliable and fairly cheap. It was only about 40 minutes to the island's most southern resort, Playa Blanca, a lively resort with some very trendy bars and restaurants. And from here you can get a ferry to Fuerteventura. Travelling by bus is all very well, but look at that landscape. Got to get out there. I got off the bus early and decided to walk the rest of the way. I took the coastal path from Puerto Calero to Puerto del Carmen. Cycling today, and this is where I ended up. Not bad, eh? I hired the bike from a local rental shop in Playa Blanca. Covered about 30 miles. It was quite hard work in the midday sun. To say I was a bit sore afterwards would be an understatement. Time to hire a car and really explore this island. The roads were immaculate, not a pothole in sight. I headed north via Guatiza and its amazing variety of cacti to Orzola. You can get a ferry from here to La Graciosa, the neighbouring island off the north coast. It has a population of about 600 to 700 people and is the last island in Europe to have no tarmac and no cars on the island. Unfortunately, I had just missed the ferry. So I headed a few miles west of Orzola and got an amazing view of the 8 by 4 kilometre island. The little towns and villages inland are quite a contrast compared to the hustle and bustle of the seaside resorts. There are many festivals throughout the year, and this statue represents the Diabletes de Teguise. a popular costume depicting the devils of Tegese. This was filmed on a June day during the siesta time, so there's not many people about. Quite different from what it would be like on a Sunday, as Tegese, the original capital of the island, hosts one of the largest markets in the entire Canary Islands. The town is steeped in history, dating back to 1402 when the Spanish established their first settlement in the Canaries. A few minutes drive away takes you to this lovely little town, Harria, situated in the Valley of 1,000 Palms. Apparently, every time a new baby is born in the town, a palm is planted. The town is only a few miles away from the popular beach Playa de la Garita in Arrieta. While we're on the subject of coastal towns, here is the village of La Santa, an old fishing village. It is famous for its surf and attracts surfers from all over the world. However, surf's not up to date. It's an affluent little village with plenty of tapas bars and restaurants. In complete contrast to that, you've got a purpose-built resort just along the road. Built in the 1960s, but never completed due to the oil crisis in the early 70s. It even has its own man-made lagoon. Quite ugly. I much prefer the more natural settings of this village, further down the coast, El Golfo. Situated at the edge of Timanfaya National Park, it is famous for the Charco de los Clicos, or Lagos Verde. Back in Puerto del Carmen, there was plenty going on in the evenings. I went to this restaurant on a number of occasions as the food and the service was consistently good. Lanzarote has an abundance of talented musicians, none more so than the Electric Islands, Pedro, Albert and Connor. The local shopping centre even has a rooftop cinema. After a late night, I was up just before dawn to see the International Space Station as it was passing at the time with an 80-degree elevation. Welcome to Timanfaya National Park. I feel like I'm walking on the moon here. This was a highlight of the holiday for me, and I saved the best for last. The geology and the landscape was absolutely fascinating. I could feel the heat under my feet. This amazing volcanic landscape was created in only 6 years, between 1730 and 1736, and then a little episode a little bit later in 1824. The scale of the events, the eruptions, was absolutely enormous. You can't imagine what it must have been like. In many parts of the area, it looked as if it could have just happened yesterday. Due to the fluctuations of the temperature between day and night, hardly anything can live here apart from a few little plants and a few creepy crawlies. So that concludes my trip to Lanzarote. The volcanic landscape from above appears just as impressive, but what a contrast it was going back to the greenery of Scotland. Until next time, thank you for watching.